rumor was absolutely everywhere. It was coming at us here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange from almost every angle, and it grew in stature. First of all, it was just the Trump administration limiting investment in Chinese companies on the US side. Then, before you knew where you were, there was talk of the Trump administration actually delisting Chinese companies that trade here in New York. Well, the reaction to that on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange was incredulity. No way is this going to happen. That ain't happening, was the tone from the traders here on the floor. And the main reason for that is that there's been a push in the last year or so to put Chinese companies on people's portfolios and on trading lists. And so the thought now that the administration would actually delist those companies at this time is really thought to be pretty irresponsible. That's the phrase I've heard here. This is posturing by the Trump administration or by somebody, but it's irresponsible posturing. Look at Alibaba, for example. This is why it's irresponsible. The share dropped $16 in less than 1 minute today, and all the Chinese stocks that trade in New York were very badly hit. Alibaba closing down 5%, Baidu down 3.6%, JD.com off by 7%, Tencent down by 2.6%. Now, rescuing all of this was a $1.7 billion buy order that came in right in the last few minutes of trading. The volume was very high at the end of the Friday session. And in the end, the Dow was down just by 0.25%, the NASDAQ down 1.1%, S&P 500 off by 0.5%. Markets negative for the week, I'm afraid, but I remind you of that word, incredulity, irresponsibility. These are the words floating around here on that story that the Trump administration is to delist Chinese companies that trade here in America. We shall, of course, see what happens next week. Trading opens in Asia Sunday night into Monday here in New York. John Terrett, CGTN, on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.